Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a very long time since I've had any sort of content for you guys, and that wasn't my intention. It's just sort of been a really rough few months really in our house. For those who don't know, I have two little kids, one in school for the first time, and they are just bringing home everything. And usually I can kind of hold my own through a lot of their sicknesses, but this year I have been getting it all right along with them. And so we've sort of just been in this endless cycle where the kids are sick, then I'm sick, and then as soon as I get better, they come home with something else and we start it all over again, and just this sort of endless cycle of misery. So if anybody else is living in this endless cycle of misery with me, I feel you. It has been rough. So hopefully we're coming out of that. I was trying to record a little bit in between some of this going on as well, but like everything came home with a cough, and a cough that lingers. So you guys don't want to sit here and listen to me hack away. I certainly don't want to be sitting here hacking away. So my couple attempts to get a little bit of content out there kind of fell flat, and I said, you know what? We're just going to have to wait until some of this dies down, and hopefully now we just got through an entire month of flu going through our house, and hopefully I'm really praying, guys, that that's the last of it for a little while, at least of the big stuff. And then I can get back to some sort of more regular content creation, regular candle chatting and reviews and things of that nature. I mean, I did a little bit of burning in this downtime. Mostly for those who follow me over on Instagram, usually this time of year, it's kind of like quiet in the candle community as far as new releases and things go. So for me, what I usually do from after the holidays and towards March, or through the end of March really, is work on clearing out some of the candle clutter that I have accumulated, things that are partially burnt or near the end that I just want to kind of spring clean, get finished up, and get off my counters and get out of the way. So for that, it's not really the most exciting content. It's all things that I've shared or reviewed previously, and how much can you really say about them? So, you know, I haven't really had too much to talk about. I did do a few sale orders that I was hoping to maybe do a video on from Kringle. They had a 3-wick sale recently. A lot of you have probably heard by now the 3 wicks are going to be going away, as well as the country candle line from Kringle. So they've had some sales on the 3 wicks, and I picked up a bunch after Christmas and then again a few weeks ago. And you know, I was going to do a video with those, and I may still do that because a lot of those scents are still available in some format. And, you know, as the 3 wicks, as they clear that inventory out. So, if you guys have some interest in that, I can do maybe a video on, some of the things I've been picking up recently. A lot of them are repeat purchases for me that I can already kind of talk about a little bit. And then there's some that are new to me. So, I just want to say again, getting back to my little break here, thank you guys for sticking around for as long as you have. It means a lot to me that you kind of waited out my little hiatus. So thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to hopefully getting back into the regular swing of things. Starting with today, it's really hard to get back into things once you've taken a long break. I don't know if you guys feel that too, but once you take a long break, it's kind of like, oh, you want to do it, but it's hard to kind of find that motivation, find that rhythm again. And so today I felt like I just got a new delivery from Kringle. Let's try to rip off the Band-Aid and get back into the swing of things while these are still available. And let's talk a little bit about St. Patrick's Day, the spring collection that's going to be coming up, and, you know, we'll go from there, I guess. I don't know what else will be coming down the pike after that. I want to try to get some other brands in here. I've been saying I don't want my whole channel to be about Kringle. That's just primarily what I burn. But I do have some homeworks that I've picked up recently as well, and things I can talk about there. So yeah, we'll just have to see where things go and just hope that we can all stay healthy around here. So getting back to candle content, which I know most of you are probably here for. I might have to title this like a welcome back chat and a little bit of a candle preview, just to kind of cover my bases here. I know we're doing a little bit more chatting than we usually do to start. But again, just felt kind of weird to just jump right back into candles without talking to you guys a little bit. So getting back to today, I got a delivery last night for 2 St. Patrick's Day candles. So let's take a look at those. All right, so I have 2 of 3 St. Patrick's Day candles here. And I figured I would kind of piggyback one random candle that I've picked up recently from Kringle as well, from the Reserve collection, and that's Red Velvet. So this came out in February, earlier in February, and I didn't purchase it on the original launch day. I kind of decided to wait and see, you know, what people were saying, and for me, in real life, like eating red velvet cake, I used to like it a lot. It was actually my wedding cake was a red velvet cake. But somewhere along the way, I think I just kind of lost my affection for it, so to speak. I'm not a huge fan of cream cheese frosting or anything like that. I prefer more of a sweeter frosting. But when you know, the reviews were coming out and everybody was saying how great it was and that there wasn't really any sort of cream cheese note in here, I decided maybe I'll just take a shot on it. I really wanted to have it in my collection just for the sake of the sentimental reasons. And yeah, I will say, you know, the reviews that I've seen, the chocolate cakiness here, you know, everything I think most people have been saying sounds pretty accurate to what I'm getting on Cold Sniff. I haven't burned it yet. When it came, I was like kind of in the height of sickness, and I just did not have the ability to stomach something heavy, chocolatey like this. So I kind of just let it sit for a while, and I'm hoping to get into it soon. But yeah, I would say definitely that chocolate cake, not any sort of real creamy, cream cheesy note, like tanginess to it, but there is a sweetness there, like a creaminess. And I'm looking forward to burning it. I'm kind of, you know, definitely glad I picked it up. And chocolate, sweet milk chocolate, cocoa, vanilla cream here for the notes. But yeah, I'm not disappointed in it whatsoever. And I'm hoping that the performance is there. I will keep you guys posted on that. But that's my quick little talk about Red Velvet. Figured I would throw that in this video here. And then the main reason I brought you here today was St. Patrick's Day. So earlier this week, Kringle launched 3 St. Patrick's Day fragrances. They did a kind of a similar thing last year with, I think there was 3 fragrances then, but they also had some 3 wicks last year. This year we just got the 3 Kringle jars. We got 2 returning scents and 1 new one. And I gotta say, I was a little bummed that they didn't go with green jars this year. I was really hoping for that last year, especially once they brought out those Easter ones with the speckled design. I was like, oh, like this would look really nice with like a nice green with like maybe a gold speckle. Or if you remember the Mystical collection, I think it was Mystical collection. I don't know. It was like mermaids and fairies and things. But they had like this shimmery, glittery blue glass. I thought something like that with a green might be nice too. But no, we went with the traditional Kringle white jars, which, I mean, the labels are gorgeous, so it's hard to really complain because they do really pop. And green's my favorite color, so I'm automatically just kind of sucked into them, aesthetically speaking. So yeah, so we got two repeats. One was Shamrock Fields, and that is the only one I didn't purchase this year. Shamrock Fields, I almost purchased this time around. I didn't really have any interest in it last year. I think it made it to sale and I was kind of tempted a couple times, but I didn't pick it up. From what I'm hearing, it's a very sort of fresh and green, but with like an ocean air sort of twist to it. And, you know, that normally, like, I should say, typically speaking, that wouldn't necessarily appeal to me, but I feel like recently my scents have been changing a little bit, my preferences, and I'm starting to get a little bit more appreciation for scents that I've kind of written off in the past. And I think part of that is, you know, from just reviewing, being sent candles that are outside my comfort zone and being told, okay, here's some stuff to review, and, you know, burning it anyway, even though it's not something I would typically buy myself. And then the fact that I've ended up enjoying a lot of them has surprised me and kind of opened my eyes. And I think probably like a lot of you on paper, some of those more conceptual green scents, it's hard to kind of imagine what it might smell like versus something called red velvet, where you kind of have an idea of what to expect. So that's partly why I don't always take a chance on them, and they're expensive. But something about it is making me feel like maybe I want to give it a try. So I'm kind of regretting not grabbing it, but I had to stay on budget. Just so you guys know, yes, I'm an ambassador. I've shared that here before, but these were my own purchase. The only reason I have them so quickly is because the shipping department, they're on their game. I think they're completely caught up from the sale orders recently. And they got shipping turnaround super fast. So Jamie and everybody over there in the shipping team, like, they really worked hard to get these out quickly. And B, I live fairly close to Kringle. So once I get that shipping notice, they're usually here within a day or two. So I ordered these, just the regular 15% off like everybody else. And with my code Simply Scented, which you guys are welcome to use, just know I get a small commission off any code use. So Simply Scented is usually, you can find it in the description of this video. And thank you guys for anyone who does choose to use that or has ever used it, really. But yeah, so I purchased these on my own. These weren't PR, so that's, you know, that's not why I got to jump on these. They weren't a special pre-order or anything. But the other two here that we're going to talk about, Pot of Gold. I don't think it's coming in. Is it coming in clear? There we go. And this was another one that was around last year. And then there's Leprechaun Treats. So, I think we'll talk about Pot of Gold first, because I only had them for like a couple hours last night. They came late and I had enough time to burn one, and I went with Leprechaun Treats, which if you follow me over on Instagram, I did share a little bit about Leprechaun Treats over there last night. I just couldn't help myself, and also in the Facebook group for Kringle fans. But Pot of Gold, I didn't get to burn it all yet, so I have a little bit less to say about this one than I do Leprechaun Treats. So we'll start here. This was here last year, but sold out really quickly. Some of you got your hands on it, and some of you were kind of bummed that you missed out. I was like one of those ones, I was on the fence. I'm a little picky with, there's caramel in it. I'll read you the notes, but I'm a little picky with caramel scents. So last year I kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit too long, and it sold out really quick, and made the decision for me. So I didn't get around to trying it last year. But I feel like I've had a lot of caramel notes in my Kringles recently. I feel like in the winter and fall, and I've done okay with those. So this time I said, you know what, let's just give it a shot. And I'm glad I did. But scent notes, we have sweet caramel, cream sugar, vanilla, and rum. So, I mean, cold sniff, I would say definitely the sweet caramel and definitely the rum. Like, pretty neck and neck. I feel like, yeah, probably 50-50, depending on what you're sensitive to. If you're a little bit more sensitive to a boozy note or a rum note, you might notice that a little bit more. If you're more sensitive to sweetness, you might pick that up a little bit more, but fairly even with the caramel and the rum. Creaminess. And I would say kind of reminiscent of the makings of an Irish cream. You know, no coffee. There's no coffee in here. I don't want to confuse anybody. But that creaminess, that sweetness, and the rum, it kind of brings to mind one of those types of like drinks that is really more of a dessert than a drink. But very nice overall. I know some I heard were concerned about the booziness here. I mean, I don't know how this is going to play out in the burn, but I mean, on cold, there's definitely a boozy element here. So if you're, you know, really put off by that, you know, this might not be for you, but you'll have to make, you know, obviously that judgment for yourself. But I mean, on cold, I definitely get it. And it's kind of like almost like a deeper rum, like those darker rums. Personally, I really like it. I'm glad I took this chance on it, at least based on what I'm getting so far. The real test for me will be performance, if this gets any sort of like scorchiness or burnt smell, and if the, you know, the strength is there. I feel like it's pretty strong on cold, and I have a feeling it will probably be, you know, it's got the makings to be able to be a strong scent. Whether or not that will hold true, I don't know. It's too soon to say, but I feel like I'll be happy with this one. It might be one of those scents that I can only do in small doses, but yeah, the jury's still out. I like it on cold, and I'm happy I grabbed it. I love this label. I love the green. It just really makes me happy. But I will try to keep you guys posted on this. I don't think I'll be able to do a full review before it sells out because I just don't see myself having enough time to burn it enough to really fully review it. But if I do a little blurb on social media, I'll try to post it here on my wall on YouTube and over on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can follow me. I will try to keep you guys posted and updated as I get into this one. And hopefully it will still be in stock for a little while, but we'll see. Okay, but that's Pot of Gold. And then, guys, I am not one to want to hype up a candle, and I swear I'm not trying to hype this candle. But if I like it, I'm going to tell you. If I love it, I'm going to tell you. And if I don't like it, I'm going to tell you. And hopefully you guys are starting to see that with me by now. But Leprechaun treats. I will preface this by saying I am a vanilla person. There's vanilla people in the world and there's chocolate people in the world. I am a vanilla person all the way. Not that I don't appreciate a good chocolate, but if I got to choose between the two, 90% of the time I'm going for the vanilla. I feel like, it gets a bad rap for being boring or plain, but I mean, never underestimate a good vanilla, whether it's cake, your home fragrance. Like a good vanilla is everything to me. It's comforting, it's delicious. There's so many different ways you can do a vanilla. It could be completely foodie, or it can be, totally like feminine body care. Like there's so many ways you can do vanilla. So for me, there's been a lot of chocolate, I feel like lately. We had red velvet, we had bittersweet. I feel like there's far more chocolate scents out there. Triple chocolate, sinful. There's just so many that Kringle's done. And vanilla hasn't gotten quite as much love, which, understandably, I think we've had a few, but I think it's harder to do vanilla because when I buy a vanilla fragrance, it's kind of a crapshoot for me if it's going to be a strong enough scent. And I think that's what a lot of people hesitate about, because vanilla in general tends to be on the lighter side. And I think that's partly why some, candle companies are more reluctant to do a lot of vanillas, because the biggest complaint you generally see is weak or not throwing. Candles that aren't strong enough. So I can see why, there might be some hesitation to produce a lot more in vanilla territory, but it's one of those kind of safe scents too, I feel like. So I don't know. I really thought we would have seen a reserve like vanilla, like something like completely, high end, all the vanilla in there, in the reserve collection. I think we had vanilla rose cone, but that was really like it that I can think of. But Leprechaun treats, we've got all the vanilla notes here. We've got super sweet, very vanilla, creamy vanilla, warm amber, and more vanilla. I laugh every time I see that more vanilla. Like, can we just pour as much vanilla into this candle as we possibly can? And I feel like they did. I could easily see this being like a reserve vanilla, because it's just like so like indulgent. When I opened it at first on cold, I will say it was slightly more muted. I burned this for probably about 2.5 hours last night, maybe 3. I kind of lost track. You can kind of see here. I did a slight trim on the wicks. Oops, let's see. There we go. To start, not down to nubs or anything, but just a slight trim, and then I just let it go. And I would feel like it's burning at a really good temperature. It's not going super hot where I felt like, the flames were getting a little too wild or sooty. There's been a few that have burned really on the hotter side, but it's also not the opposite end of that either. Like it's got, as you can see, like a slight mushrooming thing here, just very slight. And I feel like you kind of need that in order to really get the performance out of these Kringles with the soy wax. You need that extra heat, because generally I feel like the ones that tend to burn the hottest are the ones that have the best throw, just as a kind of a general theme. So I feel like the temperature that this is starting out at has been really good and probably helped this candle, because once I got that initial burn in, now even on cold, it's starting to kind of come alive a little bit more. So for trying to think of the best way to kind of describe a vanilla. So I guess if you wanted to go to the grocery store and buy vanilla ice cream, you're going to see a whole different range of vanillas. You got your like most basic vanilla, you know, those kind of like the cheaper vanillas that are kind of just generic and basic vanillas. And then you've got everything from vanilla bean to golden vanilla to French vanilla. Like there's a whole different range of vanilla ice creams, and hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about here. But that's kind of what, you know, I get the impression of with this candle. It's just kind of like mixing all those different vanilla elements to make a sort of just rich depth, like all-encompassing vanilla. And there's not a cake note here, but I can swear I'm smelling a little bit of a like a cupcakey undertone to it. And I think that might be the amber, adding a little bit of like, kind of like a golden warmth, like the top of a browned cupcake when you take them out of the oven. You have that little bit of a browning on the top. I feel like that's the amber. And I don't want that amber note to throw you guys, because I feel like when you think back to spring, I think it's spring last year, they came out with cake pops in the country line, that purple wax. That one had a musk note in it that I think threw a lot of people. And I know like my true gourmand fans out there, a lot of you say, you know, you don't want florals or perfumey notes or any of that in your gourmand fragrances. And I do tend to agree. You know, for the most part, I've seen, you know, a lot of companies throwing all different things into their like gourmand fragrances, and that puts off some people. But in this case, I feel like it's just adding that sort of warming, almost like golden cakey element to it. It's not coming across perfumey in any way. It, you know, it's not like cake pops. I wasn't really sensitive to that musky note, but I could understand what people were getting from it. This, I'm not getting any of that from. So if you were put off by that with cake pops, I don't think you'll have that problem here. The other one that comes to mind a little bit is vanilla cone. That one I felt like had a little bit of a waffle cone piece to it at times. But the actual vanilla that was in there, I feel like there's a little bit of vanilla cone in here. I feel like there's a little bit of that cake poppy vanilla in here, but you know, kind of taking those in pieces and just kind of putting them together into something new. I'll say, because I know you're going to ask, in terms of strength, so far in just one burn, guys, just one burn, one short burn, it's been stronger than my experience with vanilla cone. Vanilla cone started light, and I really have, I'm about halfway through the one jar that I have, and it's never really picked up to the level of this first burn. Cake pops as well. I burned an entire large jar of cake pops, which had some bright spots in terms of strength, but, you know, kind of went up and down a little bit, but mostly stayed to the lighter end. This first burn was stronger than cake pops. So it has the potential. There's hope. You know, there's no promises. I've had candles that I've started burning that come on really strong and then completely fizzle out. I've had candles stay consistent. I've had candles that start out really light and then come alive after a few burns. So it's really hard to say. I really hate to put any sort of number on it. I can only tell you what my experience is so far, and that's just in my home, in my open concept space. I had this going in my kitchen, and I will say there's certain fragrances that tend to do well in my home, and those fragrances, the way I can kind of judge that is if they carry up my stairs. So if I burn something on my kitchen counter, a lot of the better performing fragrances for me will carry up to this certain spot. There's like this little pocket up at the top of my stairs, and it has to do with the airflow in our home. But last night after I lit this, I kind of went upstairs for a little bit. I had to give my daughter a shower, and when I came back out of that bathroom, I just got a pocket of vanilla, and I was like, oh yes, I'm like, please let this be a good sign. And when I came back downstairs, I could easily smell it in the room. And you know, like I say, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but it's promising. I have hope, and like if that performance keeps up, this will probably be one of my most favorite vanillas to date. It's really creamy. There's sweetness here, but I feel like it's balanced out by some of that richness and depth. I want to say I'm getting like a French vanilla in here as well. I mean, a hint of a vanilla bean. It's not really a vanilla extract type of accord, but like vanilla bean, French vanilla, creamy vanilla, a bit like a frosting. I'm not getting like anything too like buttery or savory with it. Sometimes that's like the Achilles heel, I feel like, of some of the buttercream fragrances, is they get a little too buttery. This is coming across like frosting and cupcakes, but it doesn't have that same butteriness, at least not yet. You know, scents can evolve a little as you get into there, guys. So that another little disclaimer, you know, obviously this has only been burned for about 2.5 hours. There's a lot of time left here. Things can change, but not getting anything overly buttery, but I am getting that like just rich creaminess, really very vanilla, more vanilla, that, as they like to say. But yeah, I bought it for vanilla. I was hoping to get a good punch of it, and it's not disappointing so far. I will keep you guys posted on this one as well. You know, again, probably will sell out before I can really get too much of the way into this. I don't want to burn through it super quick either, if I'm being honest, because they are expensive, and I don't want to like just kind of waste it away too quickly just for the sake of reviewing, because I can't even promise that it will stay in stock long enough for it to matter. So as I burn it, I'll try to keep you guys updated as long as it's still around. But yeah, I really hope the performance holds, and if it does, I really hope we see it again. So that's pretty much all I can say about Leprechaun treats. And I think that's about it, guys. I know I got probably a little bit rambly and a little bit off track a few times. It's really hard to kind of get back into the swing of things here. So thank you for bearing with me. As far as what's coming up for me, I have did a pre-order of a few of the new spring collection, the spring summer collection that was just announced this week. So I ordered 3 candles from there and a few wax melts. So that might be my next video, is a preview of those. And after that, I have a couple surprises. So stay tuned, and can't really say too much more yet, but that's what I've got coming up. And hopefully I can do maybe a 3-wick haul video talking about a whole bunch of scents. And I would like to get some other content. I have enough empties here to probably do an empties video if you guys would be interested in that. What else? If you have any suggestions, things you want to see, feel free to leave a comment, let me know. And if you want to get alerts for those upcoming videos, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for hanging on for me throughout this little hiatus and not going away. I really appreciate that, and hopefully we'll just kind of get the ball rolling from here. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think I've rambled for long enough. I hope you guys are doing well. If you have any questions about these, feel free to reach out. I'm trying to be really good about getting back to comments and messages, especially if you have a question about something or you're trying to make a decision, because I know once these sell out, that's probably it. So if you're kind of stuck, not sure what to do, feel free to reach out and I'll answer you the best I can. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, day, month, whatever it is that you're watching this. I hope you're staying healthy and doing well, healthier than our house. And yeah, I think that's about it. Take care, you guys, and I'll be back as soon as I can with another new video.